That is a red lip. I decided to fully embrace this video I'm making that's all about love and relationships. It's kind of gonna be a dating and relationship Q&A. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna embrace this and do a bold red lip, a little sultry, a little sexy. Do you think it makes my eyes pop? What do you think? Is it even in the lines? Anyway, today's video is going to be a dating and relationship Q&A. I polled on my Instagram and asked for you to submit your questions, so that's where I'm going to be answering those from, and I think it'll be fun just in time for Valentine's Day. And if you are watching this on Valentine's Day, thank you. I am probably eating takeout and watching a movie over Zoom with my friend Erin. Honestly, Valentine's Day is just like annoying, but if you are watching this, I appreciate you spending your Valentine's Day with me. I love ya. How I think I'm gonna do this is I'm going to start with kind of the questions about, one of them was like, spill the tea on your breakup. I'm gonna give you a background of like my relationship and love life, and then we'll go into like the dating questions because that's where I am currently. I have only had one serious relationship. We met when we were 18, our second semester of freshman year in college, and we dated basically on and off until July of 2020. And I know I said I've been single for 2 years. I technically have been single for 2 years. Gosh, how do I want to frame this? Like, I feel like I could do like an 8-part series on this relationship. So we dated. What do I want to share? Oh my God. We dated all through college. After college, I moved to Denver. He moved to Utah. We did long distance. That was absolutely horrible. And we broke up. We fell into this really bad pattern of breaking up, but then continuing to speak and continuing to see each other even when we were broken up, which is like the worst thing in my opinion you can do. Like, I lived through this, like I would never do this again. So after college, we graduated. He was in Utah, I was in Colorado, and it was just bad. Like the relationship had been bad for a long time. I hated the person that I was super jealous, I was not trusting, and it was just a bad thing. So we broke up, but we continued to speak and continued to talk. And then I had sent him a message. I said, I cannot do this anymore. We are broken up. Do not contact me. Do not speak to me. Like, this is it. That next morning, I wake up and I have a missed call from his sister. And I'm like, oh my God, like, is she calling me? Like, she's mad at me? Like, this is weird. His sister lives in England, and like, it was weird. And so I call her and she's like, Rayanne, there's been an accident. And I haven't talked about this in a long time, so I get like emotional. He was hit by a car. He was pedestrian crossing the street and was hit by a car. She's like, he's in a medically induced coma in Utah. We don't really know what's going on. His family all lives in England. And of course, I flew out there right away. I was like an absolute disaster. He had a severe bleed in his brain and had to have brain surgery. And it was very serious until his family could be there. And once they were there, it was a very difficult time. I don't really remember that much of that time because it was so traumatic that I like kind of blocked it out. And when it came to our relationship, I was like, okay, this is the universe telling me that we're supposed to be together. I had said like, no more contact, this is it. And then he gets hit by a car and like, I'm supposed to be there and like, I'm his person. I'm like, this is the universe telling us we're supposed to be together. So luckily he made a full recovery. It was not easy, but he made a full recovery, which was like miraculous. We feel so lucky, and I'm so thankful for that. So we were back together, and he got a job out in California, and I wanted to pursue modeling full time and was blogging in Denver, but it just like, I felt like I couldn't take my career to the next level. So we moved out to California together. We lived together for 2 years here. When someone asked me they want to spill the tea on the breakup, it wasn't like anything like he cheated on me or any like big, huge thing that happened that was like blew up and this long-term relationship ended. It was, looking back, I see now so clearly so many things I couldn't see when I was in it. But I think it came down to, I read the 5 love languages after the breakup, and if you haven't read it, you 100% need to read this book. We were speaking different languages, and we had been doing this for so many years, and we built up such a resentment for each other that we didn't want to learn how to speak each other's languages. And I look back at that person I was in that relationship. I was jealous, I was angry, I was like always in a bad mood. I was just like in a bad mood forever, which is so not me. And I was like, who the fuck is this person? And it just didn't feel right. And I used to like lay in bed at night and like pray that he would like cheat on me or something would happen so that I would have an excuse to leave, because I wasn't strong enough to leave on my own, which is like so sad. And I finally was like, God, like just have him break up with me if this isn't supposed to be it. I don't have the strength, like if this isn't supposed to be, please help me. Have him dump me, have him cheat on me, I don't care. So in 2 years ago, like December, I was leaving for Australia to visit my parents, and right before I left, he was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm like, really? We're doing this now? So I had to like go on this family vacation to Australia and pretend like everything was fine. Got back at the beginning of January, lived together for a whole month of like searching for my own apartment because we lived together, and moved out February 1st, 2 years ago. So basically right around this time, and still stayed in contact through that entire time. I had to say multiple times, like, do not contact me. You broke up with me. Do not get in touch with me. And he didn't really respect that boundary. And then I didn't really respect that boundary. And it was just really messy. And then in August of 2020, I completely like cut things off, and we haven't spoken, haven't seen each other, which it's not because I'm like think he's a bad person. He's an amazing person, but were we right for each other? I don't think so. And in order to move on, like you can't stay in touch with an ex. Like, I know I did it for 2 years, longer than that. I'm like, don't do it. So that's kind of the story of our breakup. And I honestly think that those breakups are sometimes the hardest when it's not an event that like big event, which is very traumatic, yes. But when you're in a long-term relationship and you know like something isn't right, but nothing is really wrong, you're just kind of like unhappy, and like days and weeks and months and years go by, and then you're still in this relationship and you're like, it doesn't feel right. Like getting the courage to leave, I don't know how people do it. I didn't have the courage. He broke up with me, and so I didn't really have a choice. One of the questions I got was, did you struggle with codependency in your relationship? And 100% yes. I completely lost who I was in that relationship and looked to my partner to fulfill my happiness in every single way, which isn't fair to him, isn't fair to me. And it was like did every decision I made, everything I did was thinking about him. And he didn't ask that of me. Like I created that situation. Like I really struggled with codependency in that relationship. And one of the books that I have next to read is called The Power of Attachment. And I've listened to a few podcasts on attachment styles, which I'll link all these resources in the description of the video, but I have an anxious attachment style. And that can come out in a lot of ways. That can be, so basically you're fearful of this person leaving you. So I constantly needed validation of knowing that he loved me. I always needed that validation, and I was always scared that it wasn't going to be there. And that can surface in a lot of ways. It can be stalking their Instagram, knowing where they are at all times. So that is one thing that I have worked on, so that when I enter into new relationships, I'm not bringing that with me. Another question I got was advice on how to heal after ending a relationship. Number one, give yourself time. Grieve that relationship. It's going to be fucking hard. It's so fucking hard. I hope that you have a support system, whether it's friends, family, to speak to. Another great resource is my friend Naz Perez started a support group called Heartbroken Anonymous, where people come and share about their heartbreak. It can be romantic, it can be, it takes many different forms, but it is such a great resource. Again, I'll link that in the description of the video. But for me, healing looked like having a come to Jesus with my bullshit. I've read so many self-help books, so many books on relationships, and it was really emotionally hard for me to read these things and come to terms with these things, because I realized a lot of stuff I was doing wrong, and I basically blamed everything on my ex-boyfriend, my partner, and I had to be like, a lot of it was me, and I didn't want to admit that. So I would say work on yourself and live for yourself. Move where you want to move. Do what you want to do. Find what you're passionate about and fucking live for yourself. Start investing in female friendships. Like my female friendships bring me so much happiness. And just like relationships, it takes work. Make friend dates. Set a goal to make one friend date a week, whether that's over the phone. Call your friends who you haven't spoken to, have been on your mind. Like, invest in those female friendships. Okay, that stuff was all pretty heavy. Damn. Let's get into the questions on dating. Have you ever dated someone skinnier than you? I am now, and it can be pretty sucky. Yes, my long-term ex was like Mr. Fitness, like to an extreme. And honestly, the physical part, I mean, sometimes it did bother me. Like, I remember asking him once, I was like, why are you attracted to me? And he was just like, I think you're beautiful. Like, why wouldn't I be? And he, like, my biggest insecurity is my stomach, and he was obsessed with my stomach. He was like, oh, I just love how like soft and squishy it is. Like, so I think that we put so much pressure on our physical outward appearance that like someone fit has to be with someone fit, someone like it, which is just silly. But I do know that it can be sucky because of our own insecurities. So if you're finding it a struggle, it's probably because of some of your own insecurities that you need to work through. And I would also just say, don't keep putting it on them to like validate you. The most attractive thing is confidence and being secure in yourself. And it's not on that person to validate you. That can be very draining for the other person. The one thing I will say is I learned I just need someone who's balanced. Like, I'm fine dating someone who's fitter than me or smaller than me, but if it really affects like how we live to an extreme, that's something I would think about for sure. My ex and I one time got into a huge fight. This is so silly because I'm like saying it out loud. There was this like barbecue restaurant I really wanted to try for like a date night, which going on a date night was like pulling teeth as is, but he didn't want to go because it wasn't healthy. They didn't have healthy enough options. And it just turned into this big fight, and this happened like a lot. And I think I love to experience things. I want to travel. I want to eat good food. I want to like drink wine. And that's something that I kind of am considering as I'm dating. I just want someone who can live a balanced life. You know, I will love working out. So like, let's work out, but then like go get mimosas, you know? What is your love language? My first one is quality time, and my second one is physical touch. And like I said, if you have not read the 5 Love Languages book, stop what you're doing, stop this video, go get it on Amazon. It is a must read. It is so good. Being a Christian, would you date someone who isn't Christian? This is actually something that I was actually on a date recently, and he said he had to like be somewhere later, and I was like, oh, where do you have to be? He's like, I actually have a Bible study. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And we started talking about religion and faith, and I realized, like, I heard myself saying things that I'm like, why am I saying this? I don't know if I really feel this way. And I talked to my therapist about it, and she's like, it's okay to say, like, that's an area where I'm still exploring and still trying to figure out. I grew up Christian. I went to Christian school, kindergarten through 8th grade. I believe in God. I believe that there is a higher power. But as I've gotten older, there are things that I see differently and question that it's different than what I was raised to believe. And I feel like sometimes with religion, I have to fit into this box. Like, I have to be all or nothing. When it comes to relationships, that's also something that I'm evaluating what I want. So I guess my answer is that is an area where I'm still exploring, and I don't really have a yes or no answer. What are your must-haves in a relationship and a partner? Someone who can make me laugh. So important. So important. Someone who is honest. For me, honesty is like, and I know, oh, of course you want someone who's honest, but the white lies, the little lies drive me mad. I cannot, like, I just need someone who's going to be, and I think a lot of people will say white lies. Like, in my past relationship, he was a very big people pleaser. So he would lie to me about even small things or big things because he didn't want to upset me. And that is just, I have no time for that. Nothing at all. Like, I cannot deal. Another must-have is someone who is really driven. I don't care what you're doing. I just need someone who's really passionate about what they're doing and living life, and also kind of has the same outlook on life as me, of that, like, I work in order to live. I don't live to work. And like, I've created a career and a business where I can do that, and I would want someone to have the same mindset on that. Would you ever consider an open relationship? This is crazy. So we actually interviewed Go Fit Joe for our podcast, which the episode is going up on Tuesday, and she is non-monogamous, and I asked her about this, and we talk about this in the episode. So I will update this once the episode is out and put this in the description. But I don't think I could. I think I have a more of a traditional mindset, and I don't think it's for me. It works for people, but I don't think it would work for me. I'm very passionate and I'm very passionate when I care for someone and love for someone, and I don't think I would be able to like deal with the jealousy and all those things that come with it. Pre-first date ritual. My friend Hannah actually gave me really good advice on first date. She's like, I don't try that hard on a first date because you don't know if they're gonna be worth it. I always schedule a first date when I have something else going on that day, so like I'm already ready. Like, I don't want to get ready, do my hair, makeup, and put in all the effort for a first date if that's like all I have to do. No. I always have one drink while I'm getting ready just to calm the nerves. And then on the way over, I practice like deep breathing, whether I'm moving the Uber or driving, just in through my nose, out through my mouth to like calm my nerves. But other than that, I don't really do anything like crazy before a first date. The next question, how to be relaxed on first dates. Okay, the breathing. When you're in your car, in the Uber, whatever, on your way over, deep breathing, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, okay? And tell yourself, this is just take the pressure off. This is just getting a drink, getting dinner with a person. Like, we put so much pressure and build up on like, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna, what are they gonna think of me? Are they gonna be attracted to me? Think of it as like you need to remind yourself how incredible you are. And as you're on this date, think about, okay, what is this person like? What would they add to my life? Like, I feel as you enter into dating, I think it's important for you to feel whole and happy on your own, so that when you're dating, you can look at someone and be like, okay, what could they bring to me? Like, am I attracted to them? And how do they make me feel? Another book I read was Wired for Dating, and it talks about being really mindful on your first date. So like, look at their eyes. What color are their eyes? Look at their hair. What are they wearing? How do I feel? Like, how does my body feel right now? And just like being intentional to slow down on a first date, which I'm really bad at this. Like, I actually had to instill a 2-drink rule, 3-drink rule, 2 or 3-drink rule, okay? Because I will tell you, I used to get so nervous. I would get so drunk on first dates that like I wouldn't remember part of the dates. And I was like seeing this guy, and I was like, on the second date, he kept being like, yeah, you told me that. You told me that. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I drank way too much on the first date. I don't remember everything. It is so bad. So I have instilled a 3-drink rule. I usually have like 1 drink before I leave, and then I'll have 2 drinks on the date, and then that is it. That is it. Also, please keep in mind, like, I can drink quite a bit. I'm like 5'11", like I'm a big person. It takes a lot for me to get drunk. I know 3 drinks for some people would be like, they'd be, you know, over the edge, but for me, it takes quite a bit. So don't drink too much. Just like find the balance. How do you keep the spark going in a relationship? I have absolutely no idea, because there was no spark at the end of my relationship. There was absolutely none. So I have no idea. I'm gonna have to skip over that one. How should you react when someone addresses your extra weight and body type? If they are saying it in a praising way, saying, oh my God, you're beautiful. I love this about you. I love this about you. Say thank you. If they're bringing it up in a negative way, get the hell out. No. All right, let's get into dating apps. There are a lot of dating app questions. Are you believe in dating apps, especially in a pandemic? Yes. I mean, I'm like, how else am I supposed to meet people? Like, I mean, I can make eyes at the guy at Trader Joe's, you know, over my mask, but I mean, yeah, I am. I believe in dating apps 100%. Dating apps feel so disingenuous. Ugh, I hate the apps. How do I handle that? I get it. But if you want to meet someone and you want to be in a relationship, and if you don't feel comfortable meeting people in person, or you don't have the opportunities to meet people in person, then like, I think you just have to get over the, ugh, I hate the apps thing. We've all been there. No one's like, ooh, I love dating apps. Like, I want to, like, no, I don't think anyone is like that, but we're doing it because it's a way to meet people in our current day and age, especially in the current climate with COVID. I think that there are ways 100% to meet people in person. But right now, dating apps, I mean, I think you just kind of have to get over it and stop telling yourself that, oh, I hate the apps, whatever. I used to be in that mindset. I used to be like, oh, I hate dating apps. I feel like no guys like me on there. I don't like any of the guys in LA. And if I'm putting that out into the universe, that is woo-woo as it sounds, that is what the universe is going to give to me. That's the energy I was putting out. That was the energy I was getting. When I stopped that and I started practicing like daily affirmations, and I was like, my heart is open, love pours in and out. I changed my way I spoke about dating and dating apps. And you just have to change that narrative, and it will change. I'm telling you, it will change. Best first line on Bumble. I found this girl on TikTok. I think her username's Finding Mr. Height. I'll put in, again, the description. She like shares so many good tips for Bumble. It's like amazing. She shares like basically her recipe for an opening first line is like, create a scenario where you're together. Be like, okay, Steve, we're at dinner. What appetizer do you order for the table? Lighthearted, easygoing, fun, whatever. My personal favorite that I also got from her page is Truth or Dare. It's like a very fun way to like start a conversation and like very telling. So if they say dare, one of the ones I'll use is, okay, go to your camera roll and send me the second to last photo. Very telling, very telling. Truth, you know, you can do anything, but like, I think that just is a fun, unique way to start the conversation. So hopefully too many people don't use that, and now, you know, if it gets too popular, every guy's gonna be like, God, every girl does freaking truth or dare on this app. My favorite dating app is Bumble. I just have had the best luck on there. Do you ever slide into guys' DMs? So, I am trying a very different approach. I used to be the kind of person that would go up to men, I would message them first, I would ask them out first, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was not working. And you don't have to agree with me on this, like that's totally fine, but I did read a book, Why Men Love Bitches, and people have very strong opinions on this book. They love it or they hate it. On it, everyone is open to their opinion. But I have found that there are ways, instead of going up to a guy and asking him out, look at him, smile, wave, get him to come to you. I won't ask a guy out anymore. I just found that some of the ways I was doing things, it wasn't working out. Like, I'll tell you, I was went on a few dates with this guy. I always texted him first. I asked him out first. I split the check because I was trying to be nice. I was just being a doormat, which this book talks about, like being a doormat. And then I didn't reach out. I just lived on with my life, like didn't care. I was like, okay, whatever. He came back, and like I definitely changed the approach, and like how he's been handling the situation has been like a night and day difference. So I'm kind of in the trial testing phase of I've done it one way and it didn't work, and now I'm trying this approach and I will tell you how it works. But so far it's going a lot better. There were a lot of people asking what my worst date has been, and I honestly haven't had any like really bad date stories. Knock on wood. Yeah, I haven't really had that any like bad first dates, like luckily, so that's kind of boring. Okay, this is going to be the last question. How to forgive yourself for mistakes made in past relationships. Let me preface by saying I made a lot of mistakes. He did a lot of things too, definitely on both sides. I think it's recognizing that you were in the wrong, and then I think it's doing the work to heal yourself so that when you go into future relationships, you're not practicing those same behaviors and falling into those same patterns. We are human beings. We make mistakes. If you obsess over your mistakes, you can't change them. You can't go back. There's no point in wasting your energy obsessing over what you did wrong or what you could have done differently. There's no point. You literally have zero control. So let it go and focus on how you can be different moving forward. And I think that what I have learned in the past year is that it is on me to learn why I am the way that I am in relationships and realize how I can be a better communicator and a better partner for the next person that comes along in my life. And that's all that you can do. And I think as long as you are self-aware and working to be a good person and you want to be a good partner and a good wife or a good husband, and that's all that you can do. Quick outfit change, and my hair looks different because I started editing this video and realized I never finished, did like an ending. So happy Valentine's Day. I seriously love and appreciate you so much. If you're single, in a relationship, whatever it is, I hope you have an amazing Sunday. Thank you for watching this dating Q&A. Please let me know what you think. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you have any ideas for videos or things you want to see from me, you can always leave them in the comments. Slide into my DMs. I love to chat with you in the DMs, so whatever works. I hope that by me sharing my story and kind of my dating experience, relationship experience, maybe it makes you feel less alone or like, oh my God, I'm not the only one who was thinking that. I think it's just good to be open and honest about these things. And I just filmed a tutorial for this makeup look that will be on my Instagram Reels if you are wondering. So I'll put a link to that too. And with that, I am going to love you and leave you. I'm gonna order some pizza probably, or maybe Italian, I don't know. Well, pizza's Italian, but I want Italian for Valentine's Day while I watch a movie over Zoom with my friends. So it's gonna be great, and I'll see you guys next week.